Shut up and sit down.
Hey, I'm Simon.
I'm Ellie.
And before we even get started, we wanted to say a huge thank you to everyone who's made our channel successful. Just in the last couple of weeks, our subscriber count has gone through the roof. We just hit 1,000 subscribers for the first time. And we are...
Huge milestone.
Huge milestone. It's not easy building a channel on YouTube. And we just wanted to say thank you to the people like The Grey Man that have been there from the very start, like Austin Harper, who goes to our premieres every single day.
Thank you, Austin.
Yeah, Emily as well, and to all of our new viewers from India as well. We've loved learning about your culture, so thank you to everybody. And as usual, tonight we're having a couple of drinks, and what are these drinks called?
These drinks are called a Sleepy Jean.
A Sleepy Jean. Why are they called a Sleepy Jean?
Because they cheer me up.
Aww, I'm glad you're cheered up. Well, I'm cheered up by 1,000 subscribers. Thank you very much. And if you enjoy our videos, then don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe like that 1,000 other people. That would be very kind of you. And tonight we are having a couple of these Sleepy Jeans and surprising each other with movie trailers that we've not yet seen.
So what's the trailer we have now?
So as you know, we've covered off a few Indian movies recently. We've covered off the first trailer for KGF Chapter 1, we've covered off the teaser for KGF Chapter 2, and we've covered off a trailer for Bahubali The Beginning, at the time the largest grossing Indian movie ever. And our Indian viewers have been kind enough to recommend a bunch of other movies to us. And one of those movies is called Dangal. And again, I apologize if I butchered all of your pronunciation. I'm trying my best.
We're trying, I promise.
And so we've covered KGF, which is about a young man born into poverty, going on a crusade to win the Kolar goldfields. We've also covered Bahubali, which is a kind of a medieval style, epic battles, very visually stunning. But Dangal is such a different movie. Now, the first hint of this is when you look up the meaning of the word Dangal, and it means wrestling competition.
Ooh.
So, yeah, obviously a very different movie.
Like a UFC?
Like a UFC.
Are we allowed to say UFC?
No.
Is Dana White going to come get me?
No. So this movie was made in 2016. It came out of Bollywood, so the original language was Hindi. And just to give you a hint at how successful this movie was, it was made for the equivalent of 10 million US dollars. It brought in gross 340 million US dollars.
Whoa.
So 34 times the profit that they made it. So
wow.
Yes. And I think you'll like this movie for a number of reasons, one of which is that the producer, Aamir Khan, also stars in this movie. And he stars in a biographical movie based on true events of a father who teaches his two daughters to become India's first world-class wrestlers.
Awesome!
So with that kind of a build-up, I say we check out the trailer for Dangal, and we'll be back afterwards to let you know what we think, so hang around.
मेटल इस पेड़ पे नहीं उगते, उन्हें बढ़ाना पड़ता है प्यार से, मेहनत से, लगन से।
इस टूर्नामेंट में भारत के खिलाड़ियों का काफी निराशाजनक
हर खिलाड़ी की तरह मेरा भी सपना था, देश के लिए गोल्ड मेडल लाना। जो मैं करना चाहता था वो 12 बेटा करके दिखावेगा। देश के लिए गोल्ड जीतेगा,
ऐसे
अपना तिरंगा सबसे ऊपर लहरावेगा।
रेसलिंग चैंपियनशिप में भारत की एक और हार।
मुबारक हो भाई साहब, चौथी भी चोरी हुई है।
Oh no, too many girls.
मैं आपको छोरा ना दे पाई।
गलत मत समझ मने, गीता और बबीता दोनों ही बहुत प्यारी हैं मैंने, पर मेरा जो सपना है ना, सिर्फ छोरा ही पूरा कर सके।
लगता है गोल्ड मेडल के लिए भारत को और इंतजार करना पड़ेगा।
देखो ना भाई साहब, कितनी बुरी तरह से मारे हैं। सुझा दिया है मार मार के।
क्यों मारा?
मैंने ना मारा था। गीता बबीता ने मारा है।
Nice.
शुरुआत इन्ना करी थी पापा मना कुतिया कह रहा था बबीता ना कमीनी हम ना भी दे दो चार
Too right.
ऐसा यो सोच के रोता रहा कि छोरा होता तो देश के लिए कुश्ती में गोल्ड लाता। यो बात मेरी समझ में ना आई कि गोल्ड तो गोल्ड होता है, छोरा लावे या छोरी।
और वो चीज जो पहलवानी से गर्दन हटावेगी मैं उसने हटा दूंगा।
हाथों की पहलवानी अब दंगल होगा।
मुझे एक बात हमेशा याद रखना बेटा,
अगर सिल्वर जीती तो आज नहीं तो कल लोग तन्ने भूल जाएंगे, गोल्ड जीती तो मिसाल बन जाएगी। और मिसालें दी जाती हैं बेटा, भूली नहीं जाती।
रे भेड़ की हाहाकार के बदले शेर की एक दहाड़ है प्यारे। दंगल 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 सूरज तेरा चढ़ता ढलता गर्दिश में करते हैं तारे। दंगल दंगल दंगल
पहलवानी तो सिर्फ छोरे करें।
हमारी चोरियां चोरों से कम है के?
Wow. So we just saw the trailer for Dangal, which the song has been stuck. I watched this earlier. The song has been stuck in my head all day without even understanding any of the lyrics. I've been bopping around in my attic to Dangal, Dangal.
Yeah, no, me too. Thank you for that. Needed more earworms.
Yes. And, everyone from India, actually, all of our viewers from India keep telling me that we need to react to songs. There are some copyright issues with reacting to songs that we need to check on, but there are some from some of the movies we've checked out so far that I think we may need to come back to. But
Rest assured, they're stuck in our heads.
Yes.
Even if we're not allowed to play them, they are in our minds permanently now. Thank you for that.
But what did you think of Dangal?
It looks so awesome. Like, I don't know, I wasn't sure what to expect when you set it up, but I'm watching it and it just looks so cool. Just the whole setup of, oh no, I really wanted a wrestling champion. Hey, wait, my girls are awesome at beating the crap out of people. Maybe I was overlooking that.
Yeah, and this movie won a ton of awards, particularly in China. This is one of the top 10 foreign language movies in China.
Wow.
On Chinese streaming services, it's been streamed over 400 million times.
Whoa.
But it won awards primarily because of how authentic and realistic it was, which, I think looking at the trailer, you can kind of see that coming through loud and clear. Clearly, we don't know the culture around wrestling in India, and we would love, if people are familiar, if people have competed in the sport, I would love to know more about it. But to us, it looks super authentic.
And I think the thing I liked about it, when you set it up, I was kind of thinking, oh no, he's gonna, want a wrestling son, but he only has daughters, and so he's gonna push them into it, and it's gonna be like a whole, cultural thing of him having to push, but it was clear that he really wanted a wrestler, and he only got girls, and he wasn't. But the girls, clearly that was where they wanted to be, and that was their natural skills, were fighting, and he helped them channel that. And I kind of liked it that it was those two things. He wasn't pushing them, but that was where his passion was, and they just kind of naturally went together. And I just like that there was no manipulation or kind of pushing them into a mold that they weren't necessarily. I liked it that they both, him and his daughters, both kind of found that path together.
Yeah. I also liked it that there was no,
oh my god, I've had a daughter, this sucks, the girls are stupid.
I think that would have been so cliched, and them having to win him back. I liked it that apparently from the first moment he was like,
no, my daughters are no lesser than your sons. I'll let them kick your son's ass.
I thought that was amazing. So I will confess that I had no idea that there even was a wrestling sport in India, but the wrestling that's shown here is called either pehlwani or kushti, and both of those terms are derived from ancient Persian language, and there are records of pehlwani or kushti wrestling going back 5,000 years.
Wow.
And there are records from 700 years ago that even detail the training regime that pehlwani wrestlers had to go through. And they could be as young as 6 when they started. They were enrolled into a special school for wrestlers, and the only clothing they were allowed to wear was like a loincloth, basically. It was like a wrestling loincloth. That was their one item of clothing. And they would drill day after day. The training regime from 700 years ago says that they would start training at 3 a.m., and they would continue training. They would have like a break for dinner, but then continue training into the evening until 8 p.m.
3 a.m. to 8 p.m.?
Exactly. So...
From like 6 years old?
Yeah. It was more common for kids to start in their teenage years, but they would accept kids from 6 years old and up.
Wow.
Wow. And, we've gushed when we've seen KGF and when we've seen Bahubali that the scenery is stunning. And what I loved about this was it demonstrated, like, there was a high school, a traditional kind of modern high school. Then there was some kind of village with like a circle of sand where the kids were wrestling in the middle of the circle. I say kids, like some of the guys were ripped and massive.
Yeah.
But then there were more kind of Olympic style settings as well. So as much as it may have not had the, the sweeping valleys and cliffs and things of Bahubali, and it didn't have the grittiness of KGF, I actually really liked how authentic this looked. And just knowing it's won so many awards for the visuals, I would guess that the Indian viewers must have been happy that it represented where they've come from.
And I love a really striking contrast. And here you have that contrast with the high school that looked very American style, which is as alien to us as it is to the Indian families watching. You've got that really like iconic modern American style high school contrasted with the very traditional homestead with like the families and in traditional clothing, and they've got like their yards and the traditional cooking methods, and the girls in the traditional dress, the boys in the traditional dress, contrasted with the American style high school where they're wearing their wrestling uniforms, which is again as alien to us as it is to the Indian audiences. And I really love that contrast of the traditional and the modern.
Yeah. I would love to hear from people as well. I can only even imagine in traditional culture what the reaction must have been to 2 young girls going into professional wrestling and, shaving their heads and things, like bucking all tradition.
Because hair is such a big deal to girls in every culture, but particularly in Indian culture, where hair has so much value that there are traditions and there are there are rituals around hair and stages of life and things that you go through where you have to sacrifice hair and things like that, and for them to it wasn't clear whether at some points they were kind of trying to pass as boys or whether that was just like hey, we're girls but we need to have short hair because that's just practical when you're wrestling. So I'm really interested to watch this movie to explore that, how the hair comes into it, because it has such cultural value. Yeah,
I can't even imagine the shock on, the townspeople's faces, the parents' faces when the girls come out with shaven heads. But, as much as I would love to watch the movie, I'd also love to hear from people who were around when this happened. This is a true story. And I would love to hear the truth of, what happened when these girls hit the stage and, the reality behind it. Because, as much as it's set to true events, there's always something of a fantasy spin on that. So let us know. I'm really intrigued to watch the movie version and to hear the real version of events as well.
Definitely.
But either way, we are so grateful for everyone who's joined us. We're so grateful for getting to 1,000 subscribers.
1,000!
Months earlier than we thought we would. And we were really grateful for everyone who recommended Dangal to us. That was a great call out.
So excited to actually watch this.
Yeah, I love the fact that we've checked out really 4 Indian movies right now and 4 completely different, visually stunning movies in their own ways. So thank you for educating us. Keep the comments coming and the recommendations. And we will see you next time, friends, because we do this every day on the next Drunk Trailer Wrestling Ambush.
Peace out, nerds. Namaste, friends.
Shut up and sit down.